what do you know? What do you know? Tell y'all what I know. We're gonna do something a little different. Got me a whiteboard mounted up here. Gonna go through the numbers, and hopefully the whiteboard kind of helps explain things a little bit. I know for me it kind of creates an opportunity to kind of lead this into a few other videos to kind of explain a few things. I've had a lot of questions here lately, and some of it's just kind of hard to explain without just kind of showing it. But this week's week in review or weekly recap, whatever you want to call it, we're going to do on the whiteboard. And if this works out, we may do it like this from now on. I think it's a lot easier when you can physically see the numbers and understand them a little better. But I know I'm running a little behind on doing this weekly review. But like I said, I wanted to get this whiteboard. I wanted to get it mounted. I kind of had this idea in my head for a little while. I don't really have, you know, a nice office to do it in or anything like that. You know, we got the truck. You know, this is our office, so kind of got to make it work sometimes. But so yeah, I'll quit rambling and we'll just get to it. Last place I delivered, if y'all remember correctly, was Belle Vernon, PA, Pennsylvania. From Belle Vernon, I bounced over to Indiana, Pennsylvania, and picked up a load that had 2 stops on it. It had one in Aurora, Colorado, and one in Salt Lake. That load only weighed 7,000 pounds. 7,000. It weighed 11,000 pounds. My bad. 7,000 of it dropped at Aurora. 4,000 went on to Salt Lake. That load grossed $8,451.48. Now the cut to the truck was $6,130.49. And from there, I bounced up to Clearfield, Utah. Got a load that was going to Groveport, Ohio. That load was a dog food load, 42,000 pounds. There's not a lot of really good freight coming out of Utah. This load paid pretty decent coming out of Utah though. It grossed 47,000 or 40. Blah, I can't even talk today. Let me get this out correctly. 4,700. The cut to the truck was $3,567.62. So I did really good going in, did all right coming out. Ran a lot of miles, 3,862 miles for the week. Total revenue was $13,151.48. Cut to the truck was $9,698.11. I kept about 73% of the gross revenue this week. That's a rate of $2.51 a mile to the truck. And I averaged 8.2 miles to the gallon. It wasn't a bad week. It turned out pretty decent. As a solo operator, I think that is the best I've ever, actually I know that's the best I've ever done for revenue to the truck. Now I did run a lot of miles. I was out here pushing miles like a company driver, or pushing miles like a company driver kind of hopes to push, I guess. But I didn't run hard. I ran 65 mile an hour all week long. I did run 68 mile an hour when I was in between Aurora and Salt Lake. I needed to make up a little bit of time. I was cutting it a little close on my appointment time for Salt Lake City after I got unloaded at Aurora. So I did run 68 mile an hour in between those two, which was only about, I don't remember, 520 or 550 miles, something like that. But I was extremely light. I only had 4,000 pounds in the box, so it didn't hurt me too bad. But yeah, a lot of miles. Did come out pretty good though, and the revenue to the truck. Now, something that I wanted to bring up. I mentioned something about it a few weeks ago. I've been asked a couple of times if I regretted leaving Schneider, or if I regretted going to Schneider. I didn't necessarily regret going to Schneider. Like I've said before, all my experience was in flatbed. Schneider was a good place for me to kind of run dry van and get to understand dry van a little bit. Do I think that I could have done it at Landstar? I probably could have, but I think I wanted to kind of take, kind of baby step into it. If I'd have came directly to Landstar, I'd have been on the learning curve of dealing with agents and brokers. I'd have been on the learning curve of understanding, dry van freight, how it moves, where the lanes are, and this and that. So I kind of felt like going to Schneider first was a good step, and then going to Landstar afterwards was a good step. Now, a lot of y'all that have been around understand the reason why I left Schneider was I felt like they had a hard line at I-35. It didn't work for me. I wanted the opportunity to run wherever I want to, whenever I want to. And I knew that Schneider had freight that crossed I-35. I didn't see it available to their independent contractors or their owner ops, whatever you want to call it. The thing was I knew without a doubt that Schneider had freight that ran across the country. All right, take two. For some reason my camera decided to shut down, so we'll finish this up on another video here, and I'll just link it all in. Anyway, like I said, I knew that Schneider had freight that crossed I-35. I just didn't have access to it, and I didn't like that. Now, the thing that I wanted to get at, or that I'm leading up to, is this load right here, the Indiana to Salt Lake City, or Indiana, Pennsylvania to Salt Lake City. This load was light, paid very well, and that was a Schneider load. It said right on the freight bill, Schneider Logistics. The trip number on it was an SLC number, which is a Schneider load number. Let me back up here a couple of weeks, and there was one that I was going to mention. Where was that at? Let me look here. Oh, there it is. A couple weeks ago, I hauled a load from Middletown, Pennsylvania to Aurora, Colorado. Once again, crossed that I-35 barrier. That load only weighed 8,000 pounds. Gross pay on it was $6,300. The cut to the truck was $4,612.88. Pretty good load. That was a Schneider load. Why they don't offer them loads to their independent contractors, I'm not sure. I don't know why they do it like that, but they broker that stuff out most of the time. And now that I'm at Landstar, I have the ability to pull those loads. And I feel like I'm getting a better rate, and I'm getting a better discount. So I don't regret leaving Schneider to come to Landstar. But then again, I also don't regret going to Schneider before I came to Landstar. So that's where I'm at. That's how the week ended up. And stay tuned. I got a few more videos coming, and some of it's pretty informative, and it should answer some questions that I've had along the way. So, like always, y'all be safe. Rubber side down, shiny side up. Hit that thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.